Hello students. Today let us discuss the next important and frequently asked question. Describe the administration of Mauryas. So let us start with the introduction. Mauryas had an efficient system of administration. They were the first to establish uniform administrative system throughout the empire. So once more let us see, the Mauryans had an efficient system of administration. They were the first to establish uniform administrative system throughout the empire. Now let us see the subdivisions in Mauryan administration. The first subdivision we are going to see is the central government. So the central government, we have many sub points to learn. The first sub point is the king. So the king was the head of the state. He had legislative, executive, judicial and military powers, and his duty was the welfare of the people. So the king was the head of the state. That is a basic point which every one of you will know. The king had four different powers, that is legislative power, executive power, judicial power and military power. And the main duty of the king was to look after the welfare of the people. Now after the king, the next point in central government is Mantri Parishad. It was the council of ministers to assist the king. A king will always have a council of ministers to help him. So it was the council of ministers to assist the king. Each minister was in charge of one or more departments. Number of ministers varied from 4 to 12. So Mantri Parishad, it was the council of ministers to assist the king. Each minister was in charge of one or more department, and number of ministers varied from 4 to 12. So basically we start with an introduction, then the main subheading is the central government. Under central government, the first point is about the king. He was the head of the state. He had legislative, executive, judicial and military power. His duty was the welfare of the people. Next is Mantri Parishad. It was the council of ministers to assist the king. Each minister was in charge of one or more departments, and the number of ministers varied from 4 to 12. The next subheading is Secretariat. The administrative matters were divided into 30 departments. Example, irrigation department, market department, education department, etc. And each department was under a superintendent. So next point, first was king, then Mantri Parishad, next one is secretariat. In secretariat, the administrative matters were divided into 30 departments. Example, irrigation, market, education, etc. Each was under a superintendent. The next subheading is administration of justice. King was the highest court of appeal. We have already studied that king had judicial power. So king was the highest court of appeal. There were two types of courts which existed in Mauryan period. One is Dharmastheya, that is civil court, and next is Kantakashodhana, criminal court. The punishments were very severe. So administration of justice, king was the highest court of appeal. Two types of courts existed in Mauryan period. This point is a very important 2-mark question also. Name the two types of courts which existed in Mauryan period. One is Dharmastheya, civil court. Next is Kantakashodhana, criminal court. The punishments were very severe. So that much we write about administration of justice. Next is revenue administration. Land tax was the main source of income of the state. 1/6 of the produce was taken as tax. So revenue administration, land tax was the main source of income. 1/6 of the produce was taken as tax. They were collected either in cash or in kind. And the different types of taxes were professional tax, house tax, cattle tax, etc. So the point is revenue administration, land tax was the main source of income for the state. 1/6 of the produce was taken as tax. They were collected either in cash or in kind. The tax consisted of professional tax, house tax, cattle tax, etc. So we finished the first point. In central government we said about the king, then Mantri Parishad, secretariat, administration of justice. The next point was revenue administration. We have to always remember the main subheadings first, and then we have to move on to the explanation. The next subheading is provincial administration. So we finished the central administration. Under central administration we had some subtopics. After that we move on to the provincial administration. The empire was divided into 5 provinces. Each province was under the charge of a governor. The provinces were divided into districts, and districts were governed by sthanikas. Gramika was the head of the village, and the official in charge of the villages were called as Gopa. So in provincial administration, the empire was first divided into 5 provinces, each province under a governor. Province was divided into districts, districts under sthanikas. Districts were later divided into villages, villages under Gramika, and the official in charge of 10 villages were called as a Gopa. And next one is city administration. So in city administration, a committee of 30 members divided into 6 boards of 5 members each. So there was a committee, total number of members were 30. These 30 members were divided into 6 boards, and each boards have 5 members. So that is 5 6 are 30. Then each board was in charge of either roads, markets, hospitals, temples, etc. So that is city administration. A committee of 30 members were divided into 6 boards of 5 members each. They were in charge of roads, markets, hospitals, temples, etc. So we in provincial administration we saw how the empire was divided. First into 5 provinces under governor, provinces into districts under sthanikas, sthanikas districts into villages under gramikas, and official in charge of villages Gopa. Then city administration, 30 members, 6 board, 5 members, and they were in charge of different departments. The last subheading is military administration. The Mauryan military was efficient and well organized. It consisted of 6 lakh infantry, 30,000 cavalry, 9,000 elephants. The war office was administered by 6 boards of 5 members. Now which were these 6 boards? That is, one was transport, infantry, cavalry, chariots, and elephant force. So the war office was administered by 6 boards with 5 members. They were navy, transport, infantry, cavalry, chariots, and elephant force. Now, so that was a military administration. Mauryan military was efficient and well organized. It consisted of 6 lakh infantry, 30,000 cavalry, 9,000 elephants. The war office was administered by 6 boards with 5 members each. They were navy, transport, infantry, cavalry, chariots, and elephant force. Now finally the conclusion, you can just write the Mauryans had a very efficient system of administration, and we get information about Mauryan administration by referring to Arthashastra written by Kautilya. Maybe that 2 points you can add as a simple conclusion. So in provincial administration we have 2 main subheadings. One is central administration, and next is provincial administration, and finally we end with a conclusion. So let us finally see all the points together. So we started with an introduction, that is they had an efficient system of administration and they were the first to establish uniform administration throughout the empire. Then we started with the first main subheading, that is central government. Under central government we had king, Mantri Parishad, secretariat, administration of justice, and revenue administration. So that is under central government we had 5 points, that is king, Mantri Parishad, secretariat, administration of justice, and revenue administration. The next main subheading is Provincial Administration. Under that, we have two side headings, that is City Administration and Military Administration. And finally, we add a small conclusion, that is Mauryans had an efficient system of administration, and we get information about all these from the Arthashastra written by Kautilya. So, first make all the headings thorough. Then, after writing each heading, the explanation will naturally come into your mind. Then it will be very easy. So, headings are the most important thing. Underline the headings and subheadings. All these points will help you score good marks in your final exams.